There are certain films, certain movies that I unequivocally love and will try to defend and class as one of my favourite films ever, despite knowing that it's not a particularly perfect film, that it's a film with a lot of problems and a lot of flaws, but the love and admiration I have for it overpowers all of those to make it just something that I can watch again and again and again. Armageddon is the perfect example of that film. And just before we go anywhere with this, I just want to take a moment just to appreciate how great the music is in this film. Take it away, Trevor Rabin. I love this film so much.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Starring, amongst others, Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Steve Buscemi and Billy Bob Thornton, directed by Michael Bay. This is a Michael Bay movie I really like, with a screenplay by Jonathan Hensleigh and J.J. Abrams, which I didn't realise actually until it came to doing this review. This is my Movies at 20 review for the ultimate in 90s action movies that's not Con Air, Armageddon. Armageddon was number 1 at the US box office on July the 5th, 1998. Yes, this film is now 20 years old, and it remained at number 1 for only 1 week. This film deserved better. It really did. 1 week at number 1. And this is a review I've actually been a little worried about doing, because I love this film so much that it's difficult for me to look at the flaws of it. So I had to watch this differently to how I've watched it in the past. Before, it's one of those just switch off films. Like I put it on, I kind of switch off and I just go along with the crazy, ridiculously silly Armageddon ride. But watching it now, I was able to see some of the problems with it, but they don't affect my overall enjoyment of this film at all. I still think it's an incredible film. It's still one of my favourite movies. And it's a good example that I give people when I say that not all of the movies that I consider my personal favourites are films that I would give a 10 out of 10 to. I mean, I always mention Con Air. I don't think that's a 10 out of 10 film, but it's my favourite film of all time. This is another one of those cases. And I was trying to think as well about what clips to put in here, because I wanted to show some moments that just emphasise why I love this film as much as I do, but I quickly realised that I would end up just playing the entire film. I was half tempted to just do a commentary on Armageddon instead of just talking about it the way I normally do a review. So instead, I'm just going to put in random moments every now and then, just throughout the video, of just reasons why I love this film, just reasons why I think it's so good. Starting with this one.
Chick wants a full week's Emperor's package at Caesar's Palace. Hey, you guys wouldn't be able to tell us who actually killed Kennedy, would you? Bear would like to stay at the White Horse.
White House. White House.
White House, yeah, he'd like to stay in the Lincoln bedroom of the White House for the summer. Stuff like that.
Sure, I think we can take care of some of that.
Harry.
Yeah, one more thing. None of them want to pay taxes again. Ever.
So the plot of Armageddon then, if you are unfamiliar with it, and if you are, why are you? Go watch it right now. The plot is that an asteroid is heading to Earth, and it's an extinction level event asteroid. This is very, very similar to Deep Impact, which is a movie that I reviewed for Movies at 20 only a few weeks ago. I think it was quite recent. And Earth's only line of defence are some oil drillers. And these oil drillers, led by Bruce Willis's character, Harry Stamper, I completely forgot his surname then for some reason. They are heading up to the asteroid to drill into it and then drop a nuclear warhead 800 feet. And he will make 800 feet down so it explodes before it reaches zero barrier. And then it can just kind of pass by the Earth quite nicely, just skim by us. And of course, the biggest flaw, and I'm going to get the flaws out of the way first, because there are some. I want to talk about just how brilliant this is. So I want to get the crap out of the way to begin with, which is the entire premise. Yes, it's incredibly silly to train oil drillers to become astronauts rather than astronauts to become oil drillers. It is. It's a very flimsy premise. But the movie kind of embraces the absurd, which is what I like the most about it. And by the way, the cast were not lost on how silly this is. This is just a quick clip from the audio commentary from Armageddon, which I really recommend listening to because it's quite interesting, of Ben Affleck and his conversation with director Michael Bay about that very premise.
I asked Michael why it was easier to train oil drillers to become astronauts than it was to train astronauts to become oil drillers, and he told me to shut the fuck up. So that was the end of that talk. He was like, Ben, just shut up, okay? This is a real plan, all right? I was like, you mean it's a real plan at NASA to train oil drillers? He was like, just shut your mouth.
But as I say, this isn't the sort of film where it matters. I'm no scientist. I don't know very much to do with science at all, but I can pretty much guarantee that a lot of the things that you see in this film are ridiculous. In fact, I've read enough articles on it to know that the science behind Armageddon isn't the most sound. I mean, this is a film that has a character suffering from space dementia, which, as far as I'm aware, isn't an actual thing. If it's an actual thing, let me know. I don't believe it is. But this is a film that embraces the absurd. It embraces how ridiculous everything around it is, how over the top it is, and this is so over the top. And it does lead me on to some of the issues that I take with it, of just how much stuff goes wrong. So they fly up into space and they meet the Russian astronaut, played by Peter Stormare, who's amazing, and everyone's amazing in this, really. And they dock there to refuel, and then somehow or another that space station, which has been there for God knows how long, starts blowing up as well. When they're on the asteroid, things keep going wrong, things keep exploding, people keep dying. It's just one crazy situation after another, and at times it does feel like it would have been better if they'd taken the foot off the brake, maybe, just a little bit, just eased up on how much shit these people are going through. But at the same time, it's kind of what I love about it. The fact that it will just continue to get bigger, it will continue to get sillier, and the fact that everybody seems to be... They're in on the joke, but at the same time they're playing it so seriously that it just works.
This is our big problem in the Russian space station because I don't want to stay here anymore. Yeah, finally, we can go.
And this is an incredibly funny film at times as well, and a large part of that is down to Steve Buscemi. His character Rockhound is just so stupid and so over the top, but Buscemi just plays it in such a way that it 100% works. He has so many funny one-liners. Here's just a couple of them.
Okay, Cyclops lady's starting to bug me.
Yeehaw! Ride 'em, cowboy! Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay!
Get off the nuclear warhead.
I was doing that guy from that movie, Slim Pickens, where he rides it all the way in, the nuclear warhead.
Now.
I didn't see that one, huh?
We got 700 feet of hole to dig, Rockhand.
All right, just wanted to feel the power between my legs, brother.
And as I say, I think all of the cast here are pretty good. I mean, even Ben Affleck, who's improved a lot as an actor over the years, here he's fine. Like, he's a really good character. I really like the character of AJ. And just to go back again, some of the negatives that I've got, one of the main things that I really struggle to connect with, and this film does floor me emotionally so many times, but a bit that never quite does is when it comes to Ben Affleck's character and Liv Tyler's. The chemistry between the two of them here just doesn't really feel like it is there. It's too sweet, it's too saccharine, and it's... I don't know, something about it takes me out of their romance, but other than that, all the other emotional things of here really work and they really land for me. Like, I've seen this film so many times, and I continue to get quite emotional. I mean, let's just have a look at a couple of moments now, and I don't understand how anybody can't just feel a little bit of something in their eye in this moment.
It's my turn now.
Harry! Harry! You can't do this to me! This is my job!
You go take care of my little girl now.
That's your job. Always thought of you as a son. Always.
I'd be damn proud to have you marry Grace.
Harry! You take care of yourself. Harry, no! I love you. Harry, I love you! Don't, Harry, wait a minute! I love my son! Don't do this, Harry! You don't do this, Harry!
Or Harry saying goodbye to his daughter Grace. I mean, Liv Tyler, while I say I didn't really invest in the relationship between her and Ben Affleck's character, her as an actress is incredible in this. She has so many good moments. Like the "that's my father up there" moment. And as I say, this bit now where she says goodbye to her dad and the hand on the... I can't even talk about it. Just watch it.
I lied to you too when I told you that I didn't want to be like you. Because I am like you. And everything good that I have inside of me, I have from you. I love you so much, Daddy. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
I know it, baby. But there won't be anything to be scared of soon. I wish I could be there to walk you down the aisle. But I'll look in on you from time to time, okay, honey? I love you, Grace.
I love you too.
Gotta go now, honey.
Daddy, no. No, Dad, no.
And I think a large part of why Armageddon works as well as it does is because of the cast that they've got. And I even forget that somebody like Owen Wilson's in this one. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Owen Wilson. But they all seem to click so well, and all these characters... And again, I can't say they're well written as such, but they're all entertaining in their own right. Every single one of this oil drilling crew are. I mean, take the evaluation scene, for example, or just the little moments of them.
I am not crazy. I'm just a little emotional right now, okay? Y'all throwing all this stuff at me, man. But after this is over, can I get a hug from you or something?
Okay, Cyclops lady's starting to bug me.
Can you handle it?
I mean, I can handle what I'm going to do. I can handle that, but I don't know if I can handle this room.
Woman with large breasts. Woman with medium breasts.
Here's Harry giving me a hard time. And this is Harry telling me it's not good enough. And this is Harry telling me I can't marry his daughter. Thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
Just let it out.
Good. I suffered a major head injury when I was in high school.
This one looks like you, with breasts.
Yeah, I can handle it. Yeah, I can handle it.
A home run! The Cubs win the World Series! Ah!
Like Michael Clarke Duncan's character crying and asking for a hug. I don't know why he's doing that. It's incredibly silly, but it just works because of how personable all of these actors are. And again, I don't think the film is brilliantly well written. But that being said, it has some amazing one-liners in there, and I can only think J.J. Abrams must have had some involvement in particular. Steve Buscemi in the bit I just showed, where Cyclops woman starting to bug me, or get off the nuclear weapon. There's just so many little moments, little tiny lines that really make me laugh. And this is such a feel-good film as well, despite the fact that lots and lots of people die. It's full of moments that just make me cheer, such as the armadillo coming in at the end, just when not at the end, near the end, when it looks like all's lost and they've run out of drills. In comes Ben Affleck's character again to save the day, and it's just such a great moment. Or the brilliant bit where Harry's back on the satellite to Houston, and he does the Houston, you have a problem line. In fact, I'll play that now as well, because that's another fantastic moment.
I got some magic happening. We're bouncing off Russian and French satellites. It may have a faint signal.
Houston! Houston, do you copy?
Go ahead, Freedom.
Houston, you have a problem.
You see, I promised my little girl that I'd be coming home. Now, I don't know what you people are doing down there, but we got a hole to dig up here.
And that's how I can tell a movie is good. It's how I can tell it's really great. It's really enjoyable. Perhaps enjoyable is a better word than good. Because, as I said, I couldn't think of just a few moments to put in here. There's so many clips that I didn't put in, such as the "we're leaving on a jet plane" moment, the bit where they're all singing as they're taking off. The amazing speech that the president gives just as it shows them about to launch. And in fact, no, fuck it, I'm putting that in because that's great.
Through all the chaos that is our history, through all of the wrongs and the discord, through all of the pain and suffering, through all of our times, there is one thing that has nourished our souls and elevated our species above its origins, and that is our courage. The dreams of an entire planet are focused tonight on those 14 brave souls traveling into the heavens.
That man's not a salesman. That's your daddy.
And may we all, citizens the world over, see these events through. Godspeed and good luck to you.
And the music. I mentioned the music at the start, but the 90s, for me, 90s movies, the best ones, and again, Con Air, Face Off, The Rock, I'm sure there's other non-Nicolas Cage movies that I can mention, but these action movies of this kind in the 90s had such great soundtracks, such great scores that I think are missing a bit from movies nowadays, because they really help to make this film seem better than it is. If the Armageddon score was taken out, and it's Thomas Rabin who does this, and top marks to him because it's incredible, but if his score's taken out and a more subpar one's put in, I don't think this film would be anywhere near as memorable, and I don't even think it would be close to my top 10, because the music complements this film so incredibly well, and it's used just perfectly at just the right moments. It's an incredible score, it really is. Okay, let me try and think of some more problems. There has to be more problems with Armageddon, because as I keep mentioning, I know that it's not a brilliant film. It doesn't mean it's not one of my favourites. It is. I'm fine with admitting that, but I know it has problems. Near the start, for example, Bruce Willis's character Harry trying to shoot AJ. What the fuck is that about? That weirdly just doesn't get mentioned again.
Hey, stop! All right, now listen, man to man, serious. I love her.
Way wrong answer!
Whoa, Harry, it's getting real.
Stop it!
Bullet never got close, just a ricochet.
It's all funny till somebody gets shot in the leg.
It could be argued that he's deliberately missing, but you're still going after him with a shotgun for sleeping with your daughter. Like, I feel that should be brought up far more than it is. And why isn't Harry part of this evaluation program that they're all going through as well? Like, chasing somebody with a shotgun, I think he needs to be in that room a lot more than people like Rockhound. Okay, maybe not Rockhound, but certainly most of the others. And Armageddon as well does push the line a little bit when it comes to how cheesy it is. I mean, when Harry dies, when he makes his sacrifice at the end, so much about that whole sequence works, and I'm in bits every single time. Cool with a bit in it. But why did they have to do the flashes of him and Grace and Bruce Willis just standing with a white background like this? It's so stupid. It really is. But again, I love it. Even the bad bits of Armageddon I enjoy, and that's how I can tell when a film belongs in my personal top 10 list. And I need to make a top 10 video at some point, I think, of all of my favourite movies, just because I like talking about movies that I love. Yeah, Armageddon, though, would 100% be in there. But when it comes to the overall score for this, I mean, it's difficult. It's a personal 10 out of 10. Like, it is, on a pure enjoyment level, but there are flaws that I've discussed. There are flaws, there are problems. But I don't think I can go lower than 8. I really don't. Maybe it's the nostalgia. Maybe it's the fact that I've just loved this film for 20 years now. We're all so old. But yeah, maybe it's that, but I can't drop below an 8, and I won't drop below an 8. Armageddon gets an 8 out of 10. Before I wrap the video up, I've taken to Stardust as well, just to get some other reactions, and I have this one to put in here.
Armageddon turns 20 years old, and this was done by Michael Bay, the Michael Bay who did films like The Rock and Bad Boys way before Transformers, and it joined the late 90s disaster films like Volcano and Dante's Peak. Armageddon is about an asteroid arriving to Earth and astronauts stopping it. All-stellar cast with Bruce Willis, Michael Clarke Duncan, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, and Billy Bob Thornton. Who could forget I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith on the soundtrack? All around, a lot of fun.
You can find me on Stardust at the same name, Joe Julians. If you want your reactions to be included as well, I mean, I can't put all of them in, but I'll certainly try and put a couple in each of the Movies at 20 reviews. So the next one's coming up will be The Mask of Zorro. Well, actually, Lethal Weapon 4 is next, but I've watched that already and I'm about to film it now. Just because the World Cup final is this weekend, and I don't want to be doing a Movies at 20 review while England are winning the World Cup.
We're not positive enough. It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming.
Probably not going to win the World Cup. So yeah, The Mask of Zorro and Saving Private Ryan. Just tag me in your reactions to those, and I'll pick out the best ones and put them in there. So we can put those in the video as well. What are your thoughts on Armageddon then? What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. I said this in the Deep Impact video as well, but Deep Impact versus Armageddon, which one do you prefer? For me, it's 1000% Armageddon, although Deep Impact was better than I thought it was when I watched it again. Hit like, hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video. As I say, more 1998 movies on the way, including the 3 that I've just mentioned. I think after Saving Private Ryan, there's a bit of a break. I think that was #1 for a little while, but I know Blade's coming up as well, so I'm excited to do that one. So yeah, hit like and hit subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at JoePJulians. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you with one more clip from Armageddon that I just love. And I will see you on the next video.
100% flap suspension control on full.
Welcome home, astronauts.